Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Oh, you would. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. I fall up in the club, crank my dance on that hoe. I'm scoping at the scene, then I hit the dance flow. Y'all already know it is what the beat is. Soulja Boy ain't got no money, hell nah, you must be shitting me. But he be on the net so I can show you where I'm from. Type it in, Soulja Boy, tell him .com. But back to the top, don't do my dance on that hoe. I can crank my two-step and then I do the merry-go. Hey, crank that dance. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Oh, you would. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn.
I'm in the club wildin', now why me G? Now why me G? And now the girl smiling because she did, and then she keep trying, but you can't get that. I can't do it like him. I been did that shit. Go well on Mercury scene. Watch me rollin', watch me lean. All the hoes be jocking me, cause all the clothes I'm rockin' clean. All I smoke is lots of green. TC bout to bring it, man. You done seen me crank the club, gonna watch me crank my damn.
Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Oh, you would. Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. I fall up in the club and I'm in my max stance, and everybody screaming, Soulja Boy, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance. I fall up in the club and I'm in my max stance, and everybody screaming, Soulja Boy, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance, do your dance. Hey, crank that dance. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Why me crank my damn? Why me do? Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Oh, you would. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Hey, crank that damn. Watch me crank my damn. Do it. Soulja Boy, tell him. Soulja Boy, tell him .com.